Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video that I have had quite a few people asking about, and it's going to be my first impressions of the Garmin Overlander and the InReach Mini. Now, I reached out to Garmin to get my hands on these, and you know what, part of this whole thing is wanting to find out who are these for, how do they work, and how can I integrate these into my overlanding kit. So first of all, let's have a look and admire the Garmin Overlander, because seriously, this thing is beautiful. It's rugged. The magnetic mount here, which is obviously where it charges through as well, comes with RAM mounts, and this has been designed and thought about for overlanders and that type of use. Having these RAM mounts integrates beautifully with the system in my vehicle. So this thing is packed full of functionality. Now, it's not just a navigator. So let's go and start with having a look at some of the other features that are on here, and we can talk about the navigation system a little bit later. It comes with a beautiful, beautiful touchscreen. It's a very high quality screen. I mean, it's got a great refresh rate. It's smooth and easy to use, and so far, so good. Now, it comes packed with a whole bunch of other features. I mean, little things from being able to customize your wallpaper to have, I've got my little chimney on there, which is fantastic. It's just nice for me. It makes it feel like home, and I like having that little touch of customization. It's a nice little touch. Then it comes to things like being able to have, pitch and roll when you are off-road and you want to just kind of see those kind of stats. You've got a track recorder, so you can record your trails, check your average speeds, how long it took you to do, and then you'll also have that data will be saved onto your Garmin Explore later. And then you've got the ABC, which is the altimeter, barometer, and compass. Great to have that kind of information. Then we have campsites. Now, the campsites is loaded up with a bunch of campsites from Tracks for Africa and the Overlander app. I think there's a couple of other sources of campsites and stuff there too. But it's just really nice to have a reliable, if you've run out of data or you're out of cell phone reception or something like that, you can still find a campsite. Now, that's pretty important to me. I really like that kind of functionality. Now, you can also use the Garmin Overlander as a hands-free device. So you can have it connected up to your vehicle via 3.5mm audio jack, or you don't. It has its own speakers and stuff, but it's not the best quality speakers. So, I mean, you'd want to try and plug it into your vehicle. But if you don't have a fancy head unit in your car, this is going to be a really nice answer, and you can take this from vehicle to vehicle to vehicle, and you can keep that same ecosystem with you the whole time. So you can make phone calls, it's got some voice control, you can actually also connect it to your InReach Mini and do your satellite texting from the Overlander, so you can use that big beautiful screen to be able to do that. You can control some basic functionality of your InReach Mini from here as well, do your SOS, get weather reports, stuff like that. That's a really nice integration because you're going to be able to get a hell of a lot more information from this having the Overlander. You also have the ability to create a custom vehicle profile. So if you are driving something like a motorhome, or you're towing a caravan or a boat, or you've got specific needs for your vehicle and the size of your vehicle, you can set a profile. Now, what that'll allow you to be able to do is, obviously, when it is navigating, it'll think about those dimensions. So it's just going to give you that little bit of peace of mind if you're having to do a long haul, you're moving a boat or something like that, that you are not going to be caught out by a low bridge or something like that. So that's really specific functionality, but I think if you're in that situation, it's very important. Now, another piece of information about the Overlander, which I really like, is the ability to connect up to, I think it is 4 wireless cameras. So now they're obviously the Garmin wireless cameras, so that it integrates perfectly, and you can use that to, you could have a camera all around the vehicle if you want. You could have one on each side of the vehicle. Maybe you're in a van or a motorhome and you've got limited visibility and you need to be able to see around when you're reversing, or I'm pretty sure you could rig it up that you've got cameras in the front of your vehicle, and if you're doing some solo driving, you can actually get a bit more visibility without having a spotter or something like that. So I think that is actually very neat, and I'm looking forward to kind of trying that out in the future. So now with all of that functionality, we haven't even gotten to speaking about what this product is actually designed for. It is a navigator. So what it has, it's got two main options. It's got Explore, which gives you a very detailed topographical map with border lines. And to me, this is where you plan. This is where you kind of prepare for your trips and things like that. This Explore app syncs through on your phone, it syncs through on your computer. You can do it on all three of those things and they all kind of sync up together. So whatever changes you make on your computer, as long as you're logged into that profile and the Overlander is on Wi-Fi, those changes will come through to the Overlander. Now, something that I really like about the Explore function, for example, is that you can pre-record your previous trails. You can set them and log them manually. So for example, I've logged the Richtersveld, I've logged the Isimangaliso trip, I've logged a couple of trails and things that I've really enjoyed. So they are on the Explore, they're loaded in there and they highlighted in different colors. So I can just have a, zoom out, have an overview of the whole map and see where all my different trails are. If I feel like going there, can plot to go there. And this is going to be your traditional kind of turn-by-turn navigation. So in conjunction between the two of these apps, you're going to be able to get a really good kind of understanding of where you're going and what you're doing. So I think it is also a great way to really learn to do your own mapping so you know where you are, even if it's just sitting in the back of your mind. So something that I really love about the Garmin Overlander is the fact that it comes pre-installed with all of this functionality. It's literally, you can take it out the box, set it up in your vehicle, plug it in and go. You don't have to do anything. So that is, for me, I don't want to have to go and dig around on app stores downloading 10 different apps to get my navigation system sorted out. I want to just hit there, set my destination and go. And if I need to find a campsite, boom, I can find a campsite. If I want to, check my pitch and roll, I can do that. If I want to record my track, I can do that. If I want to know the kind of barometric pressure or I need a compass, I've got that functionality, even though that is stuff that maybe you might not need. It's things that if you do want it, it's all on here. So for me, my opinion of this is that if you are like me and you are more about getting out to your destination and enjoying your trip than navigating and planning and doing all that stuff. You get guys that just love maps. They love doing that. And I don't think this is the answer for those type of people. I think they are, it's a finished product, put it that way. So it uses the Garmin maps, it uses the thing, that's how it's made. And it works really well for, I would say, 90% of people. But there are gonna be those people who want more control. They want individual apps to control things very specifically. And they should do that. They're running iPads and GPSs and doing this. You look inside their vehicle and they've got a whole control center and they love that. That is important for them on their trips. I think the Overlander is a fantastic product for people who just want to get out there and go. They want a good, solid, reliable product that's tough and it's gonna last. So, if you're driving a vehicle that maybe doesn't have the fanciest entertainment system and that could do with a little bit of an upliftment and you want a GPS and you want cameras and, it's just got so much functionality that I think it ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. I look at it and I go, if you are budget conscious and you still need a source of navigation and you don't need the luxuries of the Overlander, Garmin has got plenty of other GPSs at different price ranges for you to have a look at. And like, for example, my trip to Botswana last year, I used Blaine's Garmin Nuvi. It worked really nicely. And that was what got me into the headspace of being like, actually, you know what? My cell phone isn't good enough. I need a proper GPS. And I think if you have the means to afford the Overlander, I think you are going to be very happy with it. I think it is a fantastic option if you are looking for a GPS, and I think getting it with the InReach Mini is a great option. But if I had to prioritize between the two, I would go for the InReach Mini first because of the safety benefits. I think that is a big kind of benefit to this. You can then pick up the Overlander as you kind of progress and you want to move away from your smartphone as a means of navigation. So the next thing to have a look at is this little guy. And you know what, it might seem deceptive as to how valuable this little thing really is. Now, I've done a lot of traveling out to very remote places, out of cell phone signal, on my own, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is something I am very, very happy to have. So for those of you who don't know what this is a little satellite communicator. You can send little pre-put together texts via satellite to a contact list. So you can have, maybe you've got your parents or your wife or your insurance company, for example. A lot of insurance companies have a clause where if you leave your vehicle, they will not pay for it, because often a vehicle will be stripped in 2 to 3 days in Africa. So you have to be incredibly, incredibly careful. Something like this, guess what? You don't have to leave your vehicle to go and get reception, to go and find other people, to whatever. You can get this, activate your SOS, bunker down, stay safe, stay by your vehicle, and wait until the insurance comes and gets you, or if it's an emergency situation, you can wait until the paramedics or emergency services come and get you. So I just think having something like this when you're traveling, whether you are a hiker, mountain biker, whatever, if you are out in the wilderness and you go to places where you do not have signal, it is essential to have one of these. What's really nice with this one is it is tiny. It's really tiny. So you can chuck it in your backpack if you decide to leave your vehicle and go for a hike, or you can leave it in the vehicle. It doesn't take up a lot of space, but it's there when you need it. It's USB chargeable, has a protected SOS button here, so you can't bump it by mistake. You have to open that, you have to hold down that button. It's pretty foolproof. The only thing is you obviously need to make sure it's charged. So you need to have the USB cable that comes with it. You can charge it off your cigarette lighter in the vehicle or whatever. It's just got a little USB slot over there. Buying this thing is not enough to get the emergency services and the satellite. You have to have registered your account, and there is a monthly subscription fee to activate this device. Okay? It's not just this device. You need that regardless of what satellite devices you use. You need to obviously have a profile with your name, your emergency details, your medical information, all of that stuff, that if you hit this SOS button, they know exactly who you are. I've got the basic one, the cheapest one, because obviously we're not doing much traveling during lockdown. So I wanted to have this up and running so that I've got a basic plan running at all times. So if an emergency happens, I have this and it will work. I think I get 10 satellite texts a month. And I think it's 100 Rand a month, something like that. I'm sure there's a couple other little things there, but also you can then get obviously more expensive plans. If you're traveling a lot or you're going on an expedition, I would just get the most expensive plan. It means you can have text conversations. Some of them have got unlimited satellite texting and stuff like that. So it'll really open up the kind of capability. I can use this to set little tracking points. So it'll, release a mapping signal every 15 minutes or whatever. And say, for example, my folks are at home and they want to see my progress and see where I am, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere in Namibia or Botswana or whatever, they'll get a little blip every now and then on the map kind of showing where I am and what I'm up to. I can also then arrive at camp at night and just send them a message and just say, look, safe at camp, or out of fuel, or you know what I mean, something like that. It's just good to have that ability to communicate. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this first impressions of the Garmin Overlander and the InReach Mini. Now it's kind of that thing of, I just can't wait to get out there, put these to use. So thank you so much for watching this episode, and please remember to hit the like button to show your support and subscribe if you haven't already. Anyways, I'll see you on the next episode of Roam Overlanding.